Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome back. Today we're gonna work on a bunch of different things within the Lego city. We just wanna fix some things up, work on refining a few things, maybe get ready to take on the next project. Just a bunch of stuff. At this point, I don't even know what it's gonna be, but I guess we're gonna figure it out. Let's get started. Okay, so one of the first things we wanna do here today is actually make an improvement to our amusement park wall, which we built quite a while ago at this point. We built it using the masonry bricks in nougat and some regular bricks as well. Built this little tunnel for the train and put the vegetation on the exterior of it. There's a little bend in the wall right there that matches the curve of the train track. And that goes right up to the tunnels over here, which are beside the newly upgraded platform coverings with all the vendors. But when we built this a while ago, we wanted to make some more additions to it. For example, we wanted to top the wall with those pyramid style 1x1s. And also we did some funky colors here. You can see the black and gray elements there. So we need to make some part swaps. And after building it, we placed an order on lego.com. And these parts, they had to come all the way from Denmark, and they take a long time to get here because we did it the next day, and they're finally here. So here's our order. We've got those little pyramid parts there, and also the curved nougat elements and all of the necessary arches. So it's time to upgrade this wall. Oh yeah, that makes a big difference, doesn't it? The tan 1x1 pyramids on top of the nougat wall. Glad that we decided to go with a different color. I think the tan just sort of pops and it makes sense. And it took 45 minutes to place all the 1x1s because we did them all the way around. I think that looks a lot better though. Worth it, for sure. Took a long time to get the parts, but worth it. That's good. Now, we were looking for nougat hinge bricks there, and we couldn't find any on lego.com, so we'll have to order those from Bricklink, I guess. But you'll see that some of them are nougat, but some of them are dark gray and tan, etc. Whatever, that's just a little minor detail. And this arch over here looks a lot better too, with the consistent colors of arches, no longer those random black pieces in there. And these curved elements just make it look pretty fresh as well. There we go, we got our little arch tunnel for the train all fixed up, along with the wall there, topped with the pyramids. It's a good way to start. Perfect. The next thing we want to work on is fixing up the canal. There's been something that we've been waiting to take care of for so long, and that is a little footbridge that's going to allow citizens of the Lego City to get from one side of the canal to the other side. We already have one of those over here, and that connects the two different halves of the Venetian houses. And then we have another one over here, but we need more along here. Maybe just one more though. It would be sort of awkward to build one here because it goes from the high ground to the low ground. So I think those stairs would start to look sort of strange. Also, when we built this, we ran out of pieces. We're using the 1x4 arches for the most part, but then you'll see in some areas we use inverted slopes, two inverted slopes, and it makes that little triangle there. So there's a bunch of places along the canal where we need to swap those out because our parts arrived. So that's good. Also, some of the arches are dark gray because we ran out of parts. So we need to make all of those part swaps. I didn't realize how many inverted slopes we were using. Look how many we swapped out. That's a lot. And now it's all consistent. So it's all the 1x4 arches all the way along the canal, which is good. We've been meaning to do that for a long time, but then the parts come in and we use them in other places. That'd be the 1x4 arches. It's funny. But now it's all consistent everywhere. But there is one more that we need to switch out. But it's actually a 1x3 dark gray arch. Do you see it? Right there, when we were building the doubled up town hall, we were short one. So we've got to make that swap as well because it's bothering me. There's the two arches we need. We actually need two of them because one of them was dark gray, like the old dark gray. I don't know if you saw that there. But we copied the canal bridge from the Venetian houses and we expanded it, and that's what we had bridging between our canals. So we decided to build another one of those And now we're going to have another bridge going over a canal. May as well make it look consistent, I think. Makes sense. There you go. So yeah, this has got to go somewhere along here maybe, or if we expand this by like 1 or 2 studs, might be able to put it on an angle like that in the angled section of the canal. I think that would be really cool. We'd have to move some of our stuff around here, like our little tables and stuff, but I think it makes sense to do that. Pretty cool how we can just remove all of the modules that are sitting on top of these 2x2 pieces of wood. Slide them down under here so that we can access the canal. And now we have like a pretty cool view of the city and the canal. Yeah, right on. But yeah, I think this here should be angled somewhere on the canal. I think that makes sense. There we go. It's all fixed up now. I know everybody was looking at those 2 arches. There we have the angled bridge. That's pretty cool, hey? We relocated the little cafe right there, so now the seating is over here and the coffee cart is over there. We also fixed up some of the tiling along here just because you could see like the gaps, but we now have enough of the triangular tiles to fix all that up. So it just looks a little bit cleaner, pretty sweet. And the angled bridge, awesome. It sort of matches the other one. Actually, it matches it perfectly. So now we have 3 bridges going over the canal, and that's pretty cool. Once again, I don't think I want to go from the high ground to the low ground though. I think that's a bit strange, and I don't think there needs to be another point of attachment. Maybe like over there, but there's the road bridge over there. There's also the other bridge for like the concrete boardwalk there. So I think this is good enough for now. I think we're actually gonna hop back over here now, because when we installed this little height difference right here, we didn't really make this work with that. So I think we need like another arch, maybe change up this. I don't know, just do something different here, because you have like this little angled section, but it doesn't connect to the tunnel. So it doesn't really make sense. It looks a bit sloppy. So to clean this up here, I think that looks a lot better. There's no more like random tiles on the tops of the tunnels there. We had to mess around with the height just to make sure that these arches were at the same height. And then we put arches on this wall, also the center wall there, and on the far right as well. And then the masonry wall going across the top there extends over here. And because this is a weird angle that doesn't match the angle of the hinge bricks, just filled in this little spot here with a modified brick with the forward-facing stud, a plate and a tile, put a 1x2 plate on top, and I think that just sort of fills that gap pretty nicely. Sort of like a continuous masonry wall. It feels pretty good to clean that up. It just didn't look very good at all down there. Oh yeah, for sure. That's a lot better. Okay, on to the next project. Now I'm thinking about this mountain here. It's a project that we started a while ago, but it's at sort of a standstill just because we've been so busy this month. We were away on like vacation at the beginning of the month, and we're going away at the near the end of the month. So like for the whole month of September, we've been out of office, or will be out of office, for a net of like 16 or 17 days. So as you can imagine, working on labor-intensive projects has just become a little bit challenging for us, but it's all good. I want to prepare the mountain for the next phase of construction. And I think the next phase of construction actually involves eliminating this road in the residential area, because the road is like a ring road. It goes all the way around, but I don't think it needs to go right here. And by eliminating it, I think it's going to give us more space for mountain expansion. I deconstructed the 2 curves, and I decided that this turnaround here would be good on the other side by the Creator 3-in-1 house. So it's a 16x16 road plate, and then this road extender with the curve, and also a 2x2 tile on top of 2 2x2 plates, and then this road extender to connect to the other curve there. You can see the plate layout there, and then the same on the other side. So that creates a nice turnaround point in the residential, because yeah, maybe we don't need a connecting road, we can just have turnaround points. Then I created a smaller version for the other side where we have the McAllister's house, just because it doesn't really need a turnaround, because there's a pull-in for the McAllister's house right there, but I also didn't want the road just to come to like a solid end. I wanted it to be rounded. So I created a smaller one, eliminating the 16x16 road plate and just replacing it with some 1x16 bricks and also 16 studs of plate there. So it's like a little miniature turnaround and a larger one. So we've got the little turnaround right there with the mailboxes and the sidewalk going around the road. May as well keep that consistent. Then 3 blank canvases here, which can be the foot of the mountain, and the larger turnaround with the sidewalk once again, and also an additional mills plate. The extra plate was for the open space between the 2 half modular buildings on the back side of Town Hall, so it's good to get that filled in with some studs. What we're going to put there at this point, I'm not sure, but this is what the new road work looks like over here. So you've got like the little mini turnaround. That's all we need right here in front of the McAllister's house. Essentially, you're going to the McAllister's house or you're not. So you can hang a left or hang a right and then turn around. And then we've got the larger turnaround right over there, which I think works out really nicely. Didn't want to make a miniature one there just because, I don't know, just wanted to change it up a bit. It doesn't leave us many studs before the start of the mountain there, but primarily where I wanted to open up the studs for the foot of the mountain was actually right here, so we can make this bulge out a little bit and then come back in. And if we can make the foot bulge out, well then it's just going to take away from the square shape, because this is a square right here, but if I can have this continue to be built up a little bit more and come out and come back in, that's going to be a lot better. And I'm not going to do a sidewalk along there, but maybe we can do like a reddish brown trail along there that sort of goes up onto the foot of the mountain and back down and connects the sidewalks that way. Now this is a huge project. It involves hauling all these modules up to the desk there. I don't want to start it this late in my day, so we're not going to continue working on the mountain today, but at least we are prepared for when we do. We have some more studs to work with there. Now we did the whole like corner section over there when we first started working on it. Actually, more than just the corner section. We went all the way over there. So the next section I want to do is the other half, which is going to be more vertical rocks, but it'll start with like green down here and then sort of go vertical up toward the black supports there, so we can position the Ninjago temples up there. It's a big project, a very repetitive project. So yeah, you've got to be like motivated to work on that type of stuff. We've done a lot of it. When are we gonna have a mountain day again? I'm not sure. I'm not sure if we're gonna do that before we leave for our Lego related trip at the end of the month. But either way, I was looking at the train track on this side of the mountain, like within the, this side of the city, within the countryside. And it's been noted by many people and also noted to myself that there's no train stops over here. I don't know if we need a countryside train station. That would be cool, but I'm thinking just like small little platform stops. Maybe like 2 of them? Does that make sense? Yeah, so let's build a couple of those, I guess. Wait a tick, before we do that, when I was driving that new holiday train around the other day, it smashed into this bridge. And I had to like remove these supports so that I could pass underneath. I'm not going to do that permanently because that holiday train is not going to be driving around on this track very often. But I just recognized this or realized that these are not connected. And I was thinking to myself, didn't we order the right parts to finish that? I thought we did. We need like 4 of them. It's like these ratchet connectors, the 1x3s there. I got to go on a part hunt because I swear we had those parts. I want to get that fixed up. This doesn't look too good at all, does it? No, it's just chilling there. Ew. Fixing this up should be pretty simple. Just got to like remove these 1x8 tiles essentially. Destroy the whole thing while we're at it. And replace them with 1x6s. And then put a 1x1 in the middle and another 1x6. And now we have these connectors here, which are 3 long. And that will connect to this right here. And now when we put our truss on that has the other part, it'll just connect like that. And now it'll be a lot more structurally stable. So I've just got to go through and make those part swaps. Easy peasy. I can't believe I forgot to do that. Sometimes when the parts arrive, you're like, oh, I'll do that another day. Well, guess what? I guess today just so happens to be that day. Awesome. So here we go. It's the final ratchet connector. Get on there. There we go. Nice. Sweet. Been meaning to do that for a long time. That looks a lot better. Cool. It's a subtle little change. Subtle little completion. Nice. Sweet. Now, it's funny because when we extract mountain modules or extract roads in the residential area or whatever it may be, you have to move trees out of the way. For example, there used to be trees all the way along here. But it deforested it so I could pull this mountain module out, and I just put the trees here and I didn't put them back. But I know we're going to be extracting that again, so I'll just have to move the trees again. But now there's not as many trees in the campground. Plus over there, there's just a bunch of trees laying around. Maybe I should just relocate those trees knowing that we're going to be pulling this out again in the future. So maybe I'll just relocate these ones over here. So we'll have a denser forest over here, but then missing trees from over here. What the heck? This thing is like a beast though. Like, look at that. It is just a monster of a tree. Like, holy cow. The island, everybody, it's still open for the taking. Woo, what are we gonna do with the island? Oh man, we've got to get working on some mini structures and stuff for the island. Or just move modular buildings over here. Ooh, think fast, you never know. But this is our little train stops. Nothing too crazy, it's in the countryside. If we're gonna build a train station, we'd need a little bit more real estate for it. Not sure where we would position it. We could definitely do that in the future, but just created this here using some of the modified bricks with the forward-facing studs in reddish brown. And there's a little staircase that branches off of it that's built using brick. And this one's just like a small rectangular one. And this one's a little bit different, as it's just like one big rectangle, so the stairs come off the other side, but built very similar to one another. There's no benches or anything on these. We figured maybe we can add some benches off to the side of them or something, so just came up with this little palisade brick plate and tile design. Got two of those because we have two train stops. Now we're not sure if people in the countryside are going to have train tickets or whatever it may be, so we created these little electronic ticket booths as well. The palisade bricks on the bottom, have some forward-facing studs on the side, and built into it is actually the connector so that we could adapt that little screen there, which is a touch screen where you can buy your tickets. There's a rail plate on the top, also a modified brick on the bottom, so we can attach that piece there, and you get the 1x6 tiles on the side sort of closing it all in. And of course we have two of those. I don't know if you would actually see electronic ticket booths out in the middle of nowhere, but this is Lego, so you can see virtually anything, like superheroes, and in this case, electronic ticket booths in the middle of nowhere. Our first little train stop is right here after the angled road that leads up to the tunnel by the Twilight House amongst these trees. Boom, little train stop. I think that's pretty cool. It makes sense because it's right by the railroad crossing. The next one is right over here by the campground. Doesn't make a whole lot of sense because this area is not developed and there's no like trails leading up to it or anything. There's no trails leading up to the other one either, but eventually we've got to make this work. We've got to have like a trail or something coming off this gravel road leading down here so people could technically take the train to this area of the Lego City in the countryside, which of course is right by the campground. Yeah, so there we go. Two little train stops installed in the countryside. You know what's been bothering me here in the countryside? This giant white spot in the mill's work. It should be green. I think I scavenged 16 by 16 plates once upon a time from there, but here we go. It's filled in now. Perfect. Also, like, what is this still doing here? Why are you here, XJet? There we go. That's the perfect spot for it. No, I'm just kidding. I'll squeeze it back on the Marvel shelf. You know, I still don't know where to put this general store, though. This is like one of the Bricklink designer program sets, and it's just been like hanging around. Like, I don't really have anywhere to place this because it needs like a tan desert style foundation. But I don't have that like anywhere in my city, so I really don't know what to do with this at this point. I guess I can just like rework part of the city to accommodate this color or part of the island, or I can change the plates on the actual set to green so they match up with the countryside or the island as is. But I don't think this set really has that sort of feel to it, you know? Like you wouldn't find this in this sort of setting over here. It has to be in that sort of desert terrain. So this area is all cleaned up there, and the chairlift bottom and top is just sitting here as a stern reminder that eventually we're gonna have a ski slope again in the Lego City. At least that's the dream, right? The other day when we were working on the amusement park stalls, we came across these really neat sticker elements of like a giraffe and a tiger. I was thinking to myself, those are gonna be perfect for the zoo because you can attach those to these brackets and fill in the top with a 2x2 plate. And then you have like a little picture op right there, right by the giraffes, right? Look at that, getting her picture by the giraffe, enclosure by the like little tree house. It's perfect. See, look at that. I thought this young lady here is a tiger for a moment. And we're gonna position this one right by the tiger enclosure. We have these like open studs available on the boardwalk there. And look who's taking her picture. It's a gorilla. He's got like a big DSLR camera, a mirrorless camera. Well, there you go. It's a cute little addition to the zoo here in the Lego City. Not bad. One of the last things that we decided to do today was actually part out the 4,014 piece Natural History Museum. So we've got all our parts divided by part type, and we're going to be taking on a rebrickable model in the very near future. So we're going to have another modular building to integrate into the downtown core. It's always fun and very necessary to take on days like this, just fixing up a bunch of random little things in the Lego City. They sort of have like this atomic change sort of dealio, you know, like making all of these little adjustments over time, and then they add up to like this bigger picture. They all come together to complete the bigger picture in the end. And it's always fun seeing the train go around at the end of the day. My favorite train, that being the high-speed passenger train, but we're zipping underneath that tunnel there that we fixed up, and also around the amusement park with the upgraded wall, and past the other tunnel that's also fixed up as well. Still lots to do here in the city. We like to take it one day at a time, and I'm pretty happy with all the changes we were able to make to the canal as well. Just make those subtle improvements and also add those bridges that we've been meaning to add for quite some time. And of course, we made a bunch of other changes. How many total? I literally have no idea at this point. Just been sort of buzzing around all day. I hope you enjoyed it. Please want to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for some more great stuff coming out in the near future. And have yourselves a great day. Bye for now.